When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com. Is everybody on this Monday? Everybody awake? Ready to go? Hey, Alan, good to see you. Donna, Molly, hello. Sweet Peach, how are you? Good morning, Marianne. Marlene, hello. Jerry, how are you? Gary, good to see you. How is everybody doing? It's Monday. As you're coming in, just a reminder, My Ears Are Not Like Yours. Available on Amazon.com. A great book to give a young person, get them off started right with the positive message that they're loved just the way they are and for who they are. It's great for birthdays, Easter baskets, any holiday, or just because you love a child and want to give them a positive message. Amazon.com. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Chessie. Good morning. I know you made it. Yay! We've missed you. Hey, Robin. Okay, as you're coming in, I'm going to read Proverbs 2, the value of wisdom. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk uprightly. He guards the paths of justice and preserves the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice, equity, and every good path. I'll stop right there. Who are you, Nora? Hey, Dawn, good morning. Shannon, good to see you. Hey, Monique, Nikolai, Dawn, good morning. Everybody's here. Nora, we are a group of people who come together every weekday at this time to talk about God, the news, and anything else that comes up. Hey, Renee. Hey, Cully, good to see you. Shannon, I think I mentioned everybody. I didn't see. The gang's all here. That's right. Wow. So everybody is filing past Billy Graham's, paying their last respects right now in I guess it's the library, the Billy Graham Library. And I watched over the weekend the procession. That's my hometown there, that I watched as they were removing the body from the education center over to the library, and that was something to see. Everybody standing, cars stopped on the freeway, people standing on the side of the road, people standing across the overpasses and everything else, so they could get that last look at Billy Graham. Hey, Patricia. And that pine box that was made for him by prisoners a few years back, that's his request. That's what he wanted. At the prison that he visited, that's what they did for the prisoners who had died. They made a simple pine box, and that's what he wanted. Hey, Bruce. Good morning, people, from Master Bruce. Or is it Mr. Bruce? Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. Have a blessed week. You too, Rhonda. Great to see you. Do you save our chats? I was hoping to find my comment on your book that I made but couldn't. No, but Monique, please go and give me a review, if you will. That would be great. So let's see. That I guess Billy Graham on Wednesday will be taken, I believe, to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. So this is just a day where I don't know if these are. It looks like they're not relatives, that it's open to the public, but I'm not sure, because I was watching it a minute ago. It was live, and people just filing past and shaking hands with the family. So that was really good to see. Um, Thank you, Gary. There was a lot of people, lots happened this weekend. Laying in honor, I guess, Carmen, is what they call it when it's a pastor. Laying in state would be somebody like a president or somebody like that, former president. It is open to the public. Don said yes. Yeah. So it's just a little area, a little private area. They've got one simple white flowers in the shape of a cross. Hey guys, how we all doing? Hope your weekend was good. Hey Lee, weekend went too fast, Lee. How about for you? Did anybody else's weekend go so fast? It was like gone in a blink of an eye. It was amazing. Has the route been announced? No, Rhonda. I don't know how they're getting him there. Where can I find this? Find what, Carmen? If you're talking about Billy Graham, it was on Facebook. Fox was covering it. So Facebook Live has it, but it should be on Fox, but I don't know if the regular channel is showing it on Fox. Weekends always go fast, Dawn said. Yep, they sure do. Let's talk a little bit about. Good morning, Daniel. Let's talk a little bit about all of these students from the high school. No, Facebook here. Well, try Fox. Yep. Hey, James. Good to see you. I've noticed, all weekend, David Hogg is getting more and more and more and more popular as this broadcaster wannabe is on just about every station, speaking for just about everybody that he can speak for, I guess. Wanted to know what your opinions are on him. He's now calling for, during spring break, he's calling for a boycott of Florida, telling people who are usually come to Florida for spring break, don't come until the gun laws are changed. So now he's branching out into every area. Is he telling the truth about CNN emails? Which ones, Marianne? The ones that told the kids, here's what you're supposed to say, or what? He also, let's see, what else did he do? He also said that that's David Hogg, the high school kid from Parkland, the Stone, where the shooting took place. Marjorie Stoneman. He also said that he thanks the conspiracy theories. I know, now go to Florida. Yep, the drama kid, that's right. He's also saying the conspiracy theorists have helped amplify his message, and he thanks everyone. Chesney said, yes, FBI kid. I don't know who David is. David Hogg, Monique, he's one of the survivors of the Parkland shooting. He allegedly graduated in 2015. Didn't he graduate last year? Dawn said. Well, that's something that nobody really knows. Hey, Andres, it's your first day on Periscope. Welcome. That's something that you're not allowed to ask, Dawn. You're not allowed to talk about him. You're not allowed to ask questions. You're not allowed to show any videos or anything else. YouTube will take them down, from what I'm understanding. Google and Twitter have been doing their best. Twitter is saying, yeah, hogwash, there you go. Hashtag hogwash, Shauna said. They've been taking things down. And Molly said he graduated 2 years ago as well. Twitter using spam and verifying accounts in order to protect them. Google removed videos from YouTube that mentioned Hogg, and they say violated their policy. His dad is a billionaire, Shauna said. Cully rejoined. David Hogg, the media hog, student, FBI son, and actor, reporter, future CNN employee. Well, I don't know, Jerry. He seems to be a contributor right now to CNN, so... Love to see him on Tucker Carlson, Dawn said. Yeah, that would be great. Hogg's dad, only 2 years in the FBI. Interesting. Now, I've only seen this on Newsweek. He is not a 17-year-old boy, that's for sure, Glay said. Well, according to him, he is, But again, you're not allowed to put forth those questions. He was on Tucker last week. How did he do, Marianne? I didn't see him. I'm sure he was treated with kid gloves because nobody wanted to say anything to him. Anything controversial. So on Newsweek, only Newsweek has said this, okay? They're claiming that the Florida school shooters receiving death threats from the NRA supporters. Um, Nobody else has said they're receiving death threats. Except that one girl who said that Donald Trump Jr., when he liked something or retweeted something, caused her to get death threats in her family. I think that was the Hogg family. But they're saying that the conspiracy theorists have said they're crisis actors. Newsweek labels him an aspiring broadcast journalist. So there you go. Newsweek knows what a great journalist that David Hogg already is. And he was always, as I've seen in some places, talked about being a journalist, an actor, whatever. Whatever in the line he could be in. No, that wasn't him. That was another kid. Okay. So Dawn is saying, Marianne, that he was not on Tucker Carlson last week. That was another kid. That was the kid who was saying, I can't remember his name, but he's saying that, shame on that sheriff who basically stood there and wouldn't go in. And you heard over the weekend, aren't there lawsuits for discrimination for blocking conservatives, social media for blocking conservatives? On some, Rhonda, mostly Facebook from what I've heard. Okay, I looked David up, and yes, I do know who he is. The one kid who was saying that he blames that one sheriff, Scott Peterson, for not going in. Shame on that whole town, Barbara said. Well, let's look about that, Barbara. I'm so glad that you brought it up. Let me say another thing, and then I want to go there. The Cameron Kasky said he had to take down his Facebook page because of the NRA cultists that were threatening him. And so now they're trying to make it out as though the people that are doing the threats are NRA supporters. They have no proof of it, nothing that links them to the NRA. Total liberal. Well, you may have come into the wrong scope, but welcome. Yes, the deputy sheriff, Rhonda. Nothing to link them to the NRA, but of course that's what they're going to say. Kasky's father threatened Rubio. Oh, that's great. That's really good, Julia. Nice to know that the kid has a great role model. But I think it's interesting, too, how they've really been going after Dana Lash. That now they're talking about, this is good, total liberal. There are people who are going after Dana Lash, and she wrote this herself on Twitter, saying basically, they're saying to her, they wish that her children would be murdered. This is absolutely insane that you go after a woman who's a spokesperson for the NRA, and not only are you going after her, but now you're going after her children as well. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Joseph. Now, how insane is that? You want her children murdered? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. So, anyhow, that's what Dana's dealing with. And I saw an article that came out over the weekend, too, about Dana from a long time ago wanted to have some show about her being a radio host. I don't know the relevance of that. What did they think that was going to bring her down? Oh, she wanted a radio show. Okay. Where she called herself a hot mom or something. I don't know if you haven't looked at Dana Lash, but she's pretty hot. She had bio stuff thrown at her in the last. Yeah, that's the laugh. I mean, Dana Lash is an attractive woman. I mean, if you don't think so, then you're blind. So if she had a show about hot moms, she'd be the one to star in it. Hey, Pan, guns are good. She has a radio show. Yeah, she does, Marianne. In real life, her CPAC speech was awesome. Donna, I thought it was great. Past, I meant she's on the Blaze. Not anymore, Sweet Peach. She left the Blaze. She was on there 4 years. She left. She's no longer there. She had to move because of the threat she was getting. Deborah said, yes, it's evil. Absolutely. She is smart, too. Dana is very smart, very good with guns. She lost me while on the Blaze. I know, Julia. A lot of people didn't like her being on the Blaze. But when she first came to the Blaze, she did really well. She was more like news, and then it kind of got into, I don't know, broadened out into something. I'm not sure. Hey, Alan, good morning. As for the sheriff, he's got to go. Yet again, liberals threatening murder, Rhonda said, of course. And the sheriff's like, I'm not going. I'm like the best sheriff that ever, came to the world. The unknown Raider guy, Tommy Lahren, crazy. Yeah, I'm not a Tommy Lahren fan. I'm sorry I had to change the vent. Dana who? Dana Lash. Dana Lash was on The Blaze, but she started out a long time ago in Breitbart. She was a friend of Andrew Breitbart. No, it wasn't the network. It was what she said on. I don't know what it was. Julie, what did she say? As for Dana, she's beautiful and can stand her own ground. Always admire women who can stand their own ground, especially in these days and times, Monique said. Did you see David Hogg on CNN cutting her down? Yeah, I've seen David Hogg just about every time I turn on the TV. I'm not, I think, somebody said he's hogging the TV. I mean, basically, he's on everything. Okay, so she called Ben Carson the devil during the primaries. Oh, oh God. Unbelievable. Tommy talks too fast and to me as an airhead. Shauna, I tell you. Yeah, I know some things about Tommy Lahren just from things from her starting out in San Diego that, anyway, we know this is gun grab by commie left globalists, get people unarmed and control them, not happening. Jerry said, in fact, I think gun sales was a Florida gun show. The attendance was just amped right up. Ben Carson don't know what the heck he talking about. Well, unknown raider guy, maybe you should listen closer. Hey, Johnny, gun sales are up. Yep. No, I see Hogg trying to cut her down. She straightened him out several times. I know. Been looking at getting another gun, Chessie said. Here's the thing. This is an example of a reason why. One reason that you should not follow young kids who try to sound like they're very experienced. They're not experienced. They're being, I think they're being fed by adults. So David, thanks, Chessie. David Hogg is an example of someone that I believe is being fed information of what to say. And yes, NRA memberships are up. Yeah, yes, Shauna, absolutely. NRA membership will grow due to this nonsense already, Rhonda. So this is why, again, if you're watching high school kids or younger, these sensational people that come on, YouTube, they're sensationalists and all that, and they've gotten all this notoriety. They're getting information from children. Kids do change their minds at the drop of a hat, just like that one guy, I'm not even going to say his name, who switched during the primaries from Republican over to Bernie Sanders. And now, all of a sudden, he's back again. I'm a conservative now. So, he's a kid. He's still a kid. Nothing wrong with being a kid, and that's what you have to do sometimes to learn things. You switch back and forth. It's the adults who follow those kids and believe what they're saying. That's the problem. I had my first rifle at 12 years old. People need to go through extensive gun training, gun safety. Yep, total. I was firing guns at 10. That's why I said Ben Carson. Don't know what the heck. Well, you can't make such a generalized statement about somebody. You may not like one thing that they said, but to say Ben Carson doesn't know anything. Ben Carson basically is a brain surgeon. I think he probably knows a little bit more than the rest of us in here. He may not be your cup of tea when politics comes about. I don't know. But Ben Carson is anything but dumb. Okay? So just to set that straight. Ben Carson is brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, again, if you're a brain surgeon, you kind of have to be. So, all right. Now, what I was going to say a minute ago, let me tell you what happened and use it. What is that, Barbara? I don't know where that came from. Hi, Susan. Hope you are doing well. Just War Day. Is it Just War Day? Thank you, Just War Day. Hope you're doing well, too. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye to some people because they're just wanting to pick fights with people in here today. Can't do that. Oh, yes, everything David has to say in front of the cameras appears to be scripted except for the video clip from inside the classroom when the shooting was taking place. You're welcome, Marianne. Why is Hogg speaking up if he graduated in 2015? I don't know for sure if he graduated in 2015. Some other people are saying that. I have no idea. You're welcome, Julia. Hey, Wendell, good to see you. I have no idea about David Hogg, what's really true and what isn't true about him. Yeah, well, Barbara, he wanted to just pick a fight anyway. No time for stupidos today, Jerry said. So let me go where I was going a minute ago. A lot of people are saying that about the shooting in Florida with the sheriff that, and I've heard these kind of rumors like, oh, well, they knew this kid was a problem. They kept him there because they wanted him to eventually do harm to the school or go crazy or whatever. I don't believe that. That's kind of a conspiracy theory. His pick is in your book at an 11th grade, as an 11th grade student, Shauna said. So he's probably still in school. Again, there's so many rumors that go around about people and people in the news and all that. You have to kind of just wait and see what's the truth and let it sort of unfold. Now, I don't, again, I don't think there's a conspiracy theory about them wanting this kid to come in and, shoot people in the school or anything else. I really don't believe that. I know some people do, and that's fine. I don't believe it either. I'm disturbed by the conspiracy theories. Yes, Julia. I think they get out of hand pretty quickly. No, do not believe it was on purpose. It was neglect, Barbara said. Here's what I think it really was, okay? And I wrote about this. I know you guys remember this, but it's been a while. Remember in around 2011, 2012, it was the Obama administration wanted to say, let's keep kids in school. He felt that minorities, blacks, Hispanics, were getting kicked out of school more so than other, whites is what he wanted to say. Hey, Robert. And so this was something that I went back and I looked at it 2014, and this is when this happened. The Obama administration Wednesday unveiled sweeping national school discipline guidelines urging schools to remove students from classrooms for disciplinary reasons only as a last resort. Thanks, Marlene. It said, unfortunately, a significant number of students are removed from class each year, even for minor infractions of school rules, due to exclusionary discipline practices, while disproportionately impact students of color and students with disabilities. That was the Education Secretary, Arnie Duncan, at the time. And he said, for example, civil rights data from the 2011-2012 school year show that African American youth without disabilities were more than 3 times as likely as their white peers without disabilities to be suspended or expelled. So the guidelines, listen to some of the guidelines. Now, again, no common sense. Common sense was thrown out the window. If the kids were having the issues, we just wanted to keep them in school. That's about it. And why do we want to keep kids in school? And other people in here know this too. Julia, you know this as well. You keep kids in school because if kids are in the classroom, you are getting money in the school district. So if you send kids out and they're exactly, Cully, if you send them out, they're suspended, they're expelled, you're not getting that money. So let's just keep them in school. Got money to keep the numbers down, yeah. And so it talked about create a positive climate that focuses on preventing misbehavior and rely on strategies like social emotional learning programs, peer mediation, and restorative justice. The guidelines called school-based mental health professionals critical to identifying students' needs, providing mental health support, etc., etc. How many people were getting mental health support? Was this Cruz guy getting mental health support? Was he getting enough? Now, we do know, from what we've heard anyway, if it's true, that he was under the care of a psychiatrist. That's right. When government makes mandates like that, it's about money, not morals. That's right. And nobody cares, really, if your child is caught up in it. There's called on Scott to suspend Sheriff Israel. There's like 74, I believe the number is, Florida state leaders that have called on the governor to suspend the sheriff. He can't fire the sheriff. Hey, Danielle, because he was an elected official. He can be recalled. He can be suspended. Hey, Faye. So they're asking him to take those steps. And these are all 74 Republican state leaders in Florida. Now, it said also, listen to this, is some of the guidelines. When working with law enforcement officials, ensure that partnerships are structured and implemented to avoid violations of students' civil rights or student privacy laws. If schools use school-based security officers, they should clearly delineate officer roles and responsibilities in writing, provide proper training, and continuously monitor officers' activities. School officials, not school resource officers or other security or law enforcement personnel, are responsible for administering routine student discipline. So basically, if you listen to that, and if Florida was following that, it takes everything out of the hands of that resource guy, the deputy Scott Peterson, and gives it over to the schools. It says only the schools can initiate discipline. He was a deputy, right? Yes. The sheriff is not worthy of his namesake, Israel. He is self-serving and needs to go, Brian said. Rhonda said, worked as a director of transportation for 10 years, and this is 100% true. Students who are criminals stay in school. One theory is the shooter had mask and helmet, so could not be identified. Not sure. It seems like there's too much circumstantial evidence, Rhonda said. Not sure, Rhonda, because the more we're hearing, the more it's like this guy just kind of walked in, stayed as long as he almost like he wanted to, goes off to McDonald's, supposedly. Again, all this is just speculation. And then they find him someplace else. You know, that's where they arrest him. And some Uber driver picks him up. So I don't know. I don't know what we can believe right now because it's too much speculation. It's supposed to provide professional development and training opportunities for all staff, including any school-based law enforcement officers, that clearly spell out how to engage students, promote positive behavior, and respond to misconduct. Such training should include techniques in classroom management, conflict resolution, and de-escalation approaches that reduce classroom disruptions. So we have a whole bunch of guidelines. I'm not sure if they were followed, and even if they were followed, you know, if you have somebody who's coming to school who is a threat to other students, how much more of this social justice BS that Obama put in place are we supposed to follow? Who has enough wits about them to go to McDonald's after slaughtering 17 people? You know, Shauna, unfortunately, there was a man in San Diego who killed two little boys, or I can't remember if it's two little boys or teenagers at the time. And after he killed them, he ate their lunch. So crazy people will do crazy things. And I don't think he was mentally ill. That guy, he was just evil. When I say crazy, that's what I mean. What about rights of well-behaved students, exposing them to unsafe environment? Well, Rhonda, you know, what are you saying? You know, white students? Are you talking about white students? You know, I know you're not. I'm just saying that would be the argument with the social justice warriors that, oh, well, only the white students are well-behaved, and that's not true, and the minorities are penalized. It's ridiculous. Follow none of O's social justice bull. Obama's coddling guidelines. Yeah. And see, that's what's happened. And Florida, that Broward County, as Cully and other people have pointed out over and over, that's one of the most liberal counties in Florida. Of course, they're going to follow that rule of Obama. And in Israel, as we've seen him with Hillary, was, you know, he was friends with her. And of course, she's going to follow that. And he's going to follow that rule. And you know, somebody should ask him, what rules were you following? What did you ask people to do in the event that there was a shooting? That needs to be determined. But Susan, if they say you're talking about white students, you're making a good point. Well, you know, you're not allowed to talk about reality. Hey, Pam. Pamela, how are you? You're not allowed to talk about things that are real. You know, you can't have that discussion anymore. Here's my deal. You're human first, damn protocol, go on in. Barbara, you know, the Coral Springs police went on in. And if you heard that interview this morning, hey, Pamela, from, let's see, what was her name? Maddie Wilford. Basically, her dad sat there and thanked the Coral Springs police for going in and saving her life. Just read Saul Alinsky's number, 8 Steps to Socialism. He was, HRC's admitted. There's more than 8 steps. There's 12, actually, in Saul Alinsky's playbook. And we should learn them, and I've written about them 1,000 times, and we really should know those steps because those steps are being played out right now. Having these kids in front of the cameras playing out those steps. Yes, he did. Saw an interview with Coral Springs First Man. Yep. And that one police officer who was even off duty, wasn't he? He heard the call. He wasn't even armed. He used a SWAT officer's gun and went in and used the armor and went in while this one guy just sits there. Now, I do know that when I was going through the police academy, I was thinking about this, like, what did they tell us? They did tell us, but this is California too. They did tell us that at the time that if SWAT has been called, then you're supposed to you're waiting for SWAT. You're waiting for SWAT to go in. And so basically, supposedly that rule changed after Columbine. And so that was later on, years that after I had gone to the academy, that after Columbine, you were no longer supposed to wait for SWAT. When somebody was in there, especially in a school shooting, you were supposed to go on in there and save as many lives as you can. Now, I don't know what the policy is. So if anybody is a police officer or knows a police officer and can tell us what the policy is, that would be great to know. Because again, I know what I was told, that was in the 80s, and then in the 90s, supposedly that changed. I'm not from California, I live in California. Correct, I am angry, and you know it, Barbara said. I know. Back in the 50s, schools taught gun safety and use of firearms. They should bring it back. Gary said that'll never happen, Gary. So question that may ask his officers to stand down. Yeah, he was, over the weekend, Scott Israel was asked, did somebody tell your officers to stand down? And he said, I don't know. We're still investigating that. Guess Coward County didn't get the memo. Did they get a stand down order? That's what he's looking into, Marianne. All I know is that Scott Israel says he's great. He's like the best that's ever happened to the deputy sheriff world. So that's all I know. And also, I should tell you that back in 2014, when the Obama guidelines came out, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, was also very much in support of these policies. So here's what I want to say. I heard it changed after Columbine. Yes, Dawn, that's what I heard as well. Here's what I have to say. These social justice policies, not the NRA, helped probably in what happened in Parkland. And so basically, right now, you see these people pointing fingers at everybody else at the right, saying, oh, it's you, it's the NRA, it's this, it's that. Why? Because they don't want you to remember the 2014 policies. They don't want you to remember that. They don't want you to remember that in Columbine, it changed after Columbine, and people were supposed to go in. How do you think about gun control problem? That's a broad question. If you have a general question, why don't you ask that? So while they're out there pointing fingers, basically, nobody's remembering all of this stuff. Still, it's a human event. You do what God would say, do die for others. Well, Barbara, and that's what happened. There were 2 teachers, wasn't it 2 teachers that did die because they went in. They gave their lives. Gun control does not deter crime. Yeah. If everybody would please retweet this. We're past the halfway point. If you could please retweet it, I would appreciate it. Retweet and share. Yes, if only they had guns. I know. And I guess there are teachers who are signing up and saying, yes, I want to carry a weapon. Now, I really, I do think that the teachers should have to have those weapons on them at all times. My guns have never tried to hurt or argue with me, and a fork never makes one fat, Brian said. 300 in Ohio, yes. So basically, there are teachers, despite what you're hearing on TV, that teachers don't want to do that. You are the only one responsible for your personal safety. Yes, Marlene. Yes, Ohio teachers are signing up in droves. Yeah, because they know. They know the reality of what school has become because of policies like the Obama policies in 2014. Yet your car doesn't wreck itself. Your car doesn't turn itself on. Your car doesn't drive down the street. You have to be behind the wheel. That's right, Carmen. These gun control freaks miss point. Guns are not allowed on public school property. Hey, that law didn't seem to apply to criminals. Now, Rhonda, no, that's not true. Criminals obey the laws. That's why if the left thinks if you can just get rid of the guns, then the criminals are going to lay down their guns too. And criminals obey laws. That's why they call them criminals. And the definition of a criminal is somebody who doesn't obey laws. Let's think about that for a while. No, let's not. Hey, Beck, good to see you. Very tired first grade teacher. Mom said she would carry. There you go. I mean, it's so ridiculous for the left to think that. They cannot follow through with that argument. I mean, it's ridiculous. Look, UK banned guns. Death and crime by knives has increased. Yes. There was a guy in Massachusetts just the other day But guns are much more harmful than knives. Oh, really? Tell that to the woman who died in the library in Massachusetts, where this man with a knife came up behind her and basically plunged her to death in the library in Massachusetts with a knife. It wasn't a gun, it was a knife. And a 77-year-old man tried to help her and got injured himself. Yep. And say that to, let's see, in Connecticut, where the man drove his van into the hospital and then set himself on fire. So there's a van we should get rid of. We should ban those. We should also ban cigarettes or anything else. Been watching my weapon sitting over there for over 96 hours. It still has not moved. Well, sits with chickens. You better be careful, because any minute that gun may get up and shoot someone. Maybe your chickens. I don't know. So you better be careful. We need to live in bubbles. I thought that's where we were headed, Marianne, because basically the common sense is gone. Was it Japan where a ninja type kicked a lot? Oh, so much death. Oh gosh, I know. That's why I'm watching her. Yes, there you go. And don't trust the chickens either, okay? Because you never know. Echo chambers, yeah. Don't believe the brainwash left agenda. Well, we might as well ban knitting needles while we're banning. Whoa, Dixie Doodles, you bring up a good point. There you go. Using this logic, no more cars or knives. That's right, Rhonda. And Monique is laughing. Ban fire, the end. Yep, there you go. Research and educate yourself. Exactly. I mean, again, all of this talk that's going on is keeping us and everybody else from looking at the fact that common sense was not followed. Because common sense was not followed, pencils, there you go. Exactly, Galactic. Pencils. Get rid of pencils, too. Yeah, keep a muzzle on it and feed it every day. Hope my gun will behave. I hope so, too, Donna. I hope that we don't hear of anything bad happening. Take the muzzle off. You might get hurt. Everybody needs to join the NRA. Absolutely. Forks sits with chickens. Forks are really dangerous. I don't know if you still have forks in your house. If you do, keep them locked up. You never know what they're going to do. You really just don't. My cat has claws. Guess she's got to go. I'm surprised she's still in your house, Marianne. Son was stabbed by one in school. Yeah. Looks like Diane's support was wised up. You know, the thing of it is, Brian, Dianne Feinstein didn't get the support of the Democrats. However, Kevin DeLeon, who I have to say is more liberal than even Dianne Feinstein, he didn't get 60 votes either. He did not get the endorsement of the party. So right now, there's nobody sitting there as a Democrat that got endorsed as for the party. If Hitler hadn't banned guns, there likely wouldn't have been a Holocaust. That's true, Rhonda. If it wasn't for fire, we wouldn't be in this mess. Gary, there you go. I am your supporter. Well, thank you, M. Don Robot. Funny. Yeah, I tell you. Hey, Spencer, good morning. It's just unbelievable. I mean, again, we got to go back to common sense. Do I look fat in this dress? Can you tell I'm carrying? Brian said. If left wants to ban the guns, celebrities need to do away with security. They won't need it. Who was it I saw marching in support over the weekend? And, it was Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia, who were marching with these people and showing support, surrounded by their armed bodyguards. I thought that was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Do as I say, not as I do. Alan's over on Facebook. Hey, Alan. So, I mean, they tell you one thing, and then they go out, have armed guards to protect themselves. But you, not so much. And speaking of people who say one thing and do another, hey, Robin, I've been listening, keep getting phone calls and messages. No problem. Everybody, please take time out, if you would, to pray for Robin's father. He had a major stroke over the weekend, and he's doing well right now, but we want to make sure that he gets completely healed. She's a nutcase. What do you expect? Oh, you know, Ellen is she's the epitome of what the left believe in, though, Lee. She's everything to them. Sending prayers, Robin. I saw Ellen. She brought gunslingers to a peaceful event. That's right. Gunslingers to a peaceful event, Spencer. Thank you, John, for praying for Robin's father. Chicago is a mess. No, Chicago is fine, Jerry. All they're going to do in Chicago is, like I said, is ban the sagging pants, and everything's going to be fine. Poster child for her people. Yeah, that Chicago has no problems. I don't know why you would say that. In Planned Parenthood, they kill more than guns. Yes, Brandon, at the tune of 3,000 children a day. Hello, Grog. How are you? 3,000 children a day. Robin says, thank you, everyone. Hey, Sherry. 3,000 children a day. Exactly as someone just said, protect all the children except the unborn. Yep. I know, Dixie, that seems to be the case. When is Chicago getting a town hall? Didn't they have? I have no idea. I guess it would be too dangerous to do that. Ellen is very condescending, acts like she's above everyone else. Well, isn't she, Dawn? I mean, I'm being very sarcastic. For those of you who don't know that I am being sarcastic, I'm being sarcastic. Read a report that 1,000 young people die a week in car crashes. Barbara. Then we've got to get rid of cars. Simple as that. Let's just start walking again. I mean, the problem can be solved. It's not about teaching children responsibility, teaching children to respect others, teaching children about God, teaching children about a great principle. No, it's not about that at all. Ride horses. There you go, Shauna. Save a horse. Ride a cowboy. Horse and buggy. There you go. Life is dangerous. Marlene. Daniel said true. Oh, I know. So sorry to hear about your dad, Robin. My prayers are with you, your dad, and your family. Godspeed. Healing to them, Monique said. And Dawn said, we know that, LOL. Yeah, I'm sick of looking at young men walking with their pants sagging down in D.C., Sister Vaughn. I know, Sister Vaughn, but we need to do more than just fix the sagging pants issue in Chicago. I mean, how many people every week die in Chicago? And somebody said this the other day, and it's absolutely true. How many town hall meetings has Jake Tapper done or Anderson Cooper done for the mothers who have lost their sons and daughters in Chicago each week to gun violence and gang violence? Yes, we do, Sits with Chickens. We do need to allow God back in. Abortions are the highest number of deaths, then heart attacks, cancer, car wrecks, and guns. Yep. Yep. 0 town hall meetings for the children that have died in Chicago. 11 children died from texting and driving every day. Phone control now. They did that, Galactic, in California. You can't text and drive. And parents need to parent. Huh. Now, that's a novel little thought there you had, Chickens. Yep. Wouldn't that be amazing? Howdy. Oh, sorry. So, no problem, Rocky. You'll probably want to go back and watch this all again in the replay. You missed some things we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's common sense. Just like Chicken said, parents need to parent. That's where it starts. Teach people to care for others. Common kindness. Yes. I was just looking in the mirror and noticed my leggings were sagging just as you said that, Susan. Well, Monique, it's great to know that you found out you're part of the problem. Why write and establish a dress code that they will not enforce? Exactly. Passengers asked me yesterday if flying was dangerous. I said no, like guns and cars. Way to go, Brian. Now, Alan, that is not a dress code that they will not enforce. I mean, yeah, it's a law, but they're not going to enforce the law. You're right. It's more than just a school law. It's a statewide. Hey, Rob, good to see you. Give me report. What me report are you talking about, Grog? Now there is a had my butt busted when I did wrong, and I have no criminal record. Huh. Well, isn't that great, Chickens, that your parents put you on the right track. Bottom line is the Bible and prayer, getting back to core values. Carmen said, everybody block that disgusting person that came in with those disgusting child things that he says. Both my children had their butts busted, and both are law-abiding, productive citizens. Yep. Chickens, I understand that. We had the same thing. I grew up in the South. My mother would take off a limb, and we would get it when we would mouth off, so. So in South Florida, there's a South Florida billionaire by the name of Mike Fernandez. And oh, cool, you're in Texas. Well, that explains a lot. They still teach their children things there. Um, he has said there's going to be no more money given to politicians. Make your pick. Yes, we had to pick our own switches. That's right, Brandon. Yes. Uh, so he's saying no more money to politicians until they support a major change to guns, such as military type guns. He says he wants a change in age limits, ammunition size, and magazine capacity. Don't bring me a dead one either. Yes, I know. Or a little one that's, that won't hurt. So here we do. Here's what we have. Because our politicians are paid for by billionaires and other donors, not like regular people who want to go out there and want to do the job if they have the qualifications to do so. So here you have a billionaire now who is going to try, hey Amanda, who is going to try to influence those people in power in Congress to do as they say and not as everybody else does. So the one with the money talks is what they're saying here, what this billionaire is saying. And, I thought there was a law against trying to influence people by money in politics. Oh no, we had the wooden spoon. My mom's Italian, Beck said. My mom was a school principal. Yes, I got spanked with a paddle. Dixie Doodles, we had a paddle in our school, and it said on there, the cute little deer with the bear behind. And it was a picture of a deer and a bear. Didn't like the sound on Facebook, went there to invite friends, accounts not linked. We just need campaign finance reform. Yeah, Alan, they need to join me on Facebook on my personal account, friend me, and then they can see this, although it is public. And I have never hit anyone, imagine that. Yep. Government works for us, not folks with most money or loudest voice, Brandon said. They're trying to influence it, though. Spencer said the AR-15 is not a military weapon. The AR-15 has never been used to even a single military unit anywhere. The AR-15 is America's most popular sporting rifle. Absolutely, Spencer. But if you're a billionaire and you don't know that stuff because you have your own bodyguards. Rocky said commies do what commies do. The agenda is in full swing. It sure is, Rocky. Isn't that like blackmail? Yeah, I think so, Dawn. Do they still paddle in schools? Oh, they do in the South, Brandon, but a lot of times, and this is absolutely recent, they don't want you paddling African-American students because of, issues regarding slavery. I don't know what school. I do know that's a school in North Carolina that I read that about. Never be surprised if the president chimes in. He does share our frustrations. He does, Brian. He really does. And also, speaking about the president, this morning the Supreme Court decided that they will not hear the issue regarding DACA and DACA ending on March 5th. They're not going to hear that right now. Did anyone have to say the Pledge of Allegiance in school every morning? I did, Brandon. So it buys the dreamers some more time and keeps Obama-era policy in place. Hey, Hassan. Now, again, as you know, I'm not against the Obama policy because it did not give them a path to citizenship and only allowed them to work here. The other thing is it didn't deport them unless they were, had committed a crime here. That's essentially a really good policy. The only thing is, that Congress didn't do it. It was an Obama policy, and they haven't decided whether or not that policy was illegal or not. Hey, Robin, and that may be something that the Supreme Court has to take up, and if that happens, then it'll be a moot point if they find that it was illegal. So there's a lot going on right now as far as what's going on in the law. So anyway, keep that in mind. That's not anything on March 5th. It's not going to make a difference. There's nothing that's going to be done. Now we have Jeff Flake who wants to go out there and all of a sudden, give amnesty. He's willing to, here, take my policy. This will work. We'll just give amnesty. So I think what you're going to see, and I'm not sure about this, but I feel that the Congress is going to start backing off a little because they know they have time. Nothing's ending on the 5th. You're mad about that? In what ways, chickens? I can see a new SWAT team made up of tailors and seamstresses that descend on people kind who have their pants falling off and fix their pants right on the spot. Very good. Very good, Gary. Oh, about Flake, yeah. Our schools are raising socialists. We are in trouble in the future if we can't turn this around. Let me just tell you, our schools, our public schools, have been raising socialists since the late 1800s. It was illegal to start with. But, Amanda, I believe that because you can't make law as a president, but that has not been decided by the Supreme Court. DACA is illegal. It hasn't been decided, chickens. Supreme Court hasn't heard that, has not decided that. The president gave a great deal. They proved they did not care about fixing it. Only Democrat votes. That's true, Barbara. Schools are robots on phones all day. Yep. Yes, 1833. That's right. That's when socialism entered public schools, and nobody did anything about it. And they have been diligently, slowly, and quietly working it all the way. So the Supreme Court is going to not hear it. That's true, chickens. Right now, they're not going to hear the case. Socialism was a bad word when I grew up. Now they all think it's a handout. And Dixie Doodles, the millennials, a lot of the millennials think it's a great thing. We need our citizens militia to guard our children at the school. We need retired military. We need retired police, so veterans, and the police at the least to be guarding our children at school. That's what I feel. No other country plays with immigration like we do. I'm challenged at every airport as a captain. Yep, Brian. No, John, but you can go and ban whatever you need to. Maybe you got some ban you got to take care of. Train and arm our teachers. Yes, very true, Susan. Yeah, and in the South, I had Christian women teaching me in grade school. Then college was a rude awakening. I know, Brandon. It was like stepping into a new world. Still haven't done anything about the communist agenda in every aspect of American life. Every aspect. That's right, Rocky. And we need to talk about that more and more every day. Talking about the communist, ideology, that is what progressivism is all about. That's also socialist communism. That's what it's all about. It's to take down every aspect of American culture, including the family. Hey, Mike. Adrian. Yes. Absolutely. And so the communist agenda is alive and well. And they're doing every single thing that they can do to take out every aspect of American culture. They know that if you take down the family and take down the church, you have won. And they're way ahead of everybody else in doing that. Our sheriff's department is now protecting all of our schools until the end of the year, then training teachers and staff for concealed carry, Robin said. Great. That's great. God's agenda is alive and well, too. Yes. Too many frogs sitting in cold water in America. Yep. We can't let them, though. Chickens, the thing of it is, when I'm talking about some of this stuff, people would rather go listen to a high school kid tell them what to do. People would rather go listen to somebody else that hasn't researched this to tell them what to do. And I'm beginning to think there's a lot of reasons for that. One, denial is a safe place for a lot of people. And also, they really just don't want to hear the truth sometimes. Because the truth can be very painful. And so we're sitting back here going, well, communism, we talked about that a long time ago. That's not really true. Yes, it is. Don't rely on the village, raise your own children. Yep. The blindness is growing. Yes, Robin. And again, the Bible says, that's going to happen. People are going to be turning against everything that we knew. And it's happening. We're seeing it. Rhonda said, does anyone have stats on violence in public versus private schools? We're seeing more people send children to private school. Public schools are destroying themselves, Rhonda said. We've had multiple threats to our schools since the shooting. 3 students have been arrested so far, Robin said. Same thing in San Diego. We have many threats. About 7 schools were threatened. 1 child was arrested. It is the great delusion. People, again, they don't want to hear the truth sometimes. It's too hard to do that. So they just go about business as though everything's okay. Right becomes wrong. Wrong becomes right. That's right, Robin. And we're seeing it all of the time. We really, really are. And it is getting worse. The Bible has already predicted all this. Absolutely, Brandon. We know where it's going. But it doesn't mean that we should stop doing what we're supposed to do. We've had 2 students in Houston area, different schools, arrested in the last week for threats. Chicken said. Rocky said 2018 will be perhaps a make or break time frame for the rest of our nation's existence. Monique said the truth is not only painful, but it can be so shocking to people who either do not have the emotional capacity or coping methods to handle the painful truth. That's what Monique said. Yeah, it's also predictable with the erosion of the family. This is just, I mean, this is exactly what they want. In the communist agenda, everybody is supposed to raise the children. Your children don't belong to you. When you have kids, they're handed over to everybody else. They can raise them and everything. They also want you to have sex with people who are not your spouse or who are not your boyfriend or girlfriend. They want you to have sex with everybody because that's what the communist agenda does. Sanctuary cities will continue to see problems. And that's just, that's what they don't believe in biblical principles at all. Also, the mayor, let's just talk about this. The mayor of Oakland, she disclosed to her entire community in Oakland that there was going to be a probability of an ICE raid that was going on in the next 24 hours. And she said she did it out of moral obligation. I say that mayor needs to be arrested right now. What happened in there, Danielle? Or perverted, sexy, degrade the body first, let demons in. I know, Barbara. It's just disgusting. Moral obligation. Yeah, if she even knew what that meant. She needs to be removed. She needs to be removed in handcuffs, Rob, for breaking the law, in my opinion. Genesis 1:1, a house, a family, it's a piece of land. I agree. Rocky said she broke the law. I think so. I really do. Lots of religious leaders agree with that mayor. I know, Julia. Bible talks about that too. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. Exactly. That's why, if you don't know things about communism, please read everything you can about communism. Heard something recently that Democrats' base dissolves if economy succeeds. That's right. Remove her. She committed perjury, Lee said. Hollywood's so in on it now. Yell, me too. Yeah, Barbara, it's true. Our private Christian schools already have concealed carriers in the school, but Robin said, I homeschool. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is revolutionary act, George Orwell. Yep. Alameda County Sheriff supports ICE. Good. Alameda. Yep, good. McCarthy was not totally wrong. Please stop eating KFC. Switch to McDonald's. Okay. You too, sweetheart. And, 1984 coming into fruition. We're past that, Brandon. Not just in 1984. We're just past where that even went. Let's commit to reading large quantities of God's Word every day. Has been boycotting movies. Me too. Chickens. I saw a movie over the weekend on Netflix about what the government has been lying to us about in regards to food. It's called Fed Up. If you want to see something that's going to make your head spin, then watch Fed Up on Netflix. Where is Sessions on what this governor did to tip off illegals to ICE? There's been talk, Rhonda, that he's doing stuff behind the scenes on everything. I have no idea. Can't find a decent movie, Dixie said. Nope. Chicken said, I'll watch it today. Cool. Trump likes McDonald's. Yep. Did you see it, Donna? Wasn't it, pretty like, whoa, okay. Can't trust anybody. And it's not only the government, but it's the businesses as well. I can only imagine. Looks good. Comes out in March. What does, Brandon? I missed it. Treatment of animals is disgraceful too. Yes, Lee. Hey, Dave. Yeah, but it's called Fed Up, and it's on Netflix. It's on there right now. Oh, and by the way, Terry McAuliffe says he needs to be the next president and that he could beat Trump in 2020. Juan Williams, listen to this, men, because this is what I've been telling you about. Juan Williams says there are three black women, who can break the ceiling and beat Trump in 2020. That would be Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, and Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, Lord help us. I know. Hey, Susie. Juan is totally nuts. Yep, I believe so. But see, this whole movement, this whole Me Too movement, as I've been telling you all along, there's more behind it, and that is to get the women out front, to get the women elected, and to put you men way back in the back. And it's happening. Yep. It's satanic. Yep. Mercy Be song, I can only imagine. Oh, yeah. Background story is coming out. Oh, nice. Oprah had too much baggage. Watch movie by John Hagee out in 1999 called Vanished in the Twinkle of an Eye. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel says he loves me. So thank you. The whole suppression of male leadership. You betcha. And doesn't let's talk about that 1 second, then I'll let you guys go. I would vote for Susan Knowles for president. Thank you, Rob. That whole thing about suppressing the males, biblical principle, who is in the biblical terms, males play an important role. Okay? Communism wouldn't have you in that role, and only biblical principles would be that way. So there you go. Just saying, know where you're at. Know we're in the end times. Maranatha. And that's the way it is. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We all love you, Susan. Carmen said, thank you, Carmen. I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys every day. You are wonderful. Thank you so much. I can't stand Juan, but he has some truth there because they're all involved with Me Too movement, and sadly, it's only getting larger. Yes, Monique, Me Too is the same communist group we see everywhere. Gary said, thank you. Please, everybody, please retweet this. Please, please, please. Thank you, Don. I love you too. Maranatha. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Take care. All right, everybody. Thank you on Facebook Live. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Everybody on YouTube, God bless you. See you tomorrow. Take care.